Good morning once again. Let's see if it's working right this time. We just had a little bit of an issue. We're running through my phone. We're connected through my phone rather than the internet for some unknown reason. Why is this not connected? That isn't connected to that. Hold the bus. Nobody can see me, can they? This is having a nightmare this morning. There we go. We are live. But it's terrible. Starting out a stop-start animation. Let me just come at this a minute. Can't hear you. Oh, we can see you, but it's glitching. It's like watching a time-lapse video. Yeah, it is that, isn't it? We can see and hear you. We can see and hear you fine, Baz. Your audio's okay. Video's like max headroom though. There is issues. Do you know what happened? There was a building. They're building just the next street along, and somebody cut through the internet cable yesterday. So everybody was down at one point yesterday, and audio is clear as day. Anyway, right, let's get on to the Celtic news this morning. We will keep going. Apologies about the internet. Let me just double check. Let me just do this speed test again. Just to catch up. It was working fine this morning. The game yesterday. Celtic score. Oh, the internet shit today again. See, what have they done? They've patched the internet, haven't they? I wonder if I come off. Right, 2 seconds, because I'm going to come off. Well, I wonder if it'll affect the stream if I just go onto my phone. Because that may have a bit better network. Or will that just cut it all together? Forget the video. Anyway, yeah, just forget the video. We'll run it as an audio podcast. I've switched Jim Lister. I've switched it off and on. That's why it's done. Anyway, let's talk about the game yesterday. Martin O'Neill says he was pleased with the overall performance. However, he felt Celtic became a bit complacent during a 10 or 15 minutes spell. Dundee United could have scored 5 goals. They hit the post 5 times. He admitted that Celtic still have plenty of room for improvement. Do you think that let me just check this. Let me just do this again. Go into settings. Stream. Output. It's not going to matter. They fucked the internet yesterday. Tell you what, let me just do. Oh, what just happened there? Are we even still live? Let me just get a picture of a podcast for the day. You need Sky. Right, back to Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill says that Dundee United appeared surprised that they hit the bar 5 times. It was unlucky for Dundee United, wasn't it? O'Neill says that something that's worth discussing is that with the team is how many opportunities that they got. Against a strong opposition, Celtic could have been punished yesterday. Could have been beaten 5-4 yesterday. Camilo Duran, getting his first goal, Duran getting his first goal, competitive goal for Celtic. Martin O'Neill said that he's a very good player. O'Neill was particularly impressed by the fact that he can play in various positions for the team, which I think is... I like him playing through the middle. He scored his goal coming in from the wing. I think that Martin O'Neill is excited about the prospect of having him in the team. I still think he's been played well out of position. Casper Ho, he had a decent game yesterday. When it comes to the defence, though, I really do not think that if we are going to just use Liam Scales as backup to Kieran Tierney, it's going to be a very long and difficult season. It has to be said. Let me go into this a second, not that one. Instagram. Let's go back to Instagram and what our ex-player said about the club. Arne Engel said, after 2 incredible years, it's time for me to say goodbye to Celtic. I'm leaving for nothing, with nothing but gratitude. Wearing this shirt and playing in front of these supporters has been a privilege. I've always been grateful for. I'll look back at my time here with great pride and carry these memories with me for the rest of my career. Thank you to my teammates, the staff and everyone at the club, and of course the supporters for making those 2 years so special. Thank you for everything, Celtic. Notice that he didn't pick out like Martin O'Neill or anything. He just said the staff and to everyone at the club. Didn't pinpoint the manager or anything. But when you look at it, Dyson Maeda, we are the champions, says Dyson Maeda. Julian Arocco says, all the best, mate. Kieran Tierney says, good luck. Austin Trusty says, all the best, my brother. Lewis Palmer also gets on it. Stephen Wells says, all the best, mate. Callum Osman says, good luck, brother. Celtic said, all the best, Arne. And Rosie, his bird isn't too happy. She put an unhappy face. Look, I think the fact that she's leaving Celtic for West Ham, maybe the fact that she doesn't think it's going to be a big enough club for him. And then Colby Donovan says, smash it, my boy. When you look at Celtic as a team now, I think that Celtic fans need to get used to the new normal at Celtic, and that new normal will be the fact that players are only going to come here for 2 years. They're only going to come for 2 years and they're wanting to move on. Celtic are selling them on a promise that they can come in, win some trophies, get some experience in Europe if we manage to get in, and then they'll move them on for a big profit and they'll move to another club for more wages. And that's what it comes down to. Players like Arne Engels are ambitious. They want to earn. European players, anyone that hasn't came through the system at Celtic, they just want to use Celtic as a stepping stone. They want to have a fantastic career where they can make as much money as they can. And Celtic fans are going to have to get used to that. We've brought in the likes of Hassan. He'll only be here 2 years. Mika Bauer, he will only be here 2 years. It's going to be... We were kind of spoiled as Celtic fans going through the time that we did go through to get to 9 in a row. And we had a pretty settled team. Yes, you had wingers that would come in and, there would be the odd player. But predominantly, the run to 9 in a row, we had quite a good settled team for about 3 or 4 seasons towards the end. It's a difficult one. But it is the new normal. I'm going to get into some of the comments here, see if these come up. Some of our passing was very slack, and we struggled a bit with their pressing. Apart from that, things are looking better. Yeah, I think they're looking better. Jim says, good luck, Arnie, but we move on. This is very true. Better than usual. Always brought the best out of him, I think. Good riddance. Ay. Yeah, you're not going to see me today because it's there's issues with the internet, and I'm running this through my phone because a digger went through the internet cable yesterday and it's still not up to speed. Anyway, let me just do this one as I go on to Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill's expecting Celtic to tidy up their act ahead of a Champions League playoff on Wednesday evening. Martin O'Neill watched Celtic score 4 goals to reach the last 8 of the Premier Sports Cup, and that'll be the draw for that is on Monday evening, so we'll look forward to that. Celtic scored some cracking goals. Austin Trusty. Baz, do you know that you're 20 frames per minute max right now? Do you know? This is not spam, please read. Yeah, I'm having to run through my phone as the internet is down here because a digger went through the cable yesterday on somebody that's building a big huge property just up behind us. Anyway, so that's all that we can do this morning. Unfortunately, the Egyptian will be here until his contract. The Egyptian Balak Wisha. You think he's as bad as Balak Wisha? I really need a hard midfielder who can break up play and then distribute the ball. Don't you think that that's the player that we have, Oxlade-Chamberlain, don't you think that he has that, or is he a bit too slow in midfield for that? Hassan needs time. You've got to remember that Hassan's not had any pre-season. Do you know? So I'm not going to get too excited about Hassan. He's not had any pre-season. He's came from the World Cup. He's had some time off, and then he's right back into it. So you've got to give him time. He's only trained with the squad, for goodness sake, for a couple of days. I think we'll be last at home, but I'm a bit worried about the away game. You're right there, Baz. We are a stepping stone, but it's better than wading through water. How do we keep the majority of a team together to go on a decent run, to be consistently successful? We know that the club just wants dominance in Scottish football. The fans want progress when it comes to the European arena. How do we create an environment where players want to stay, like Cameron Carter-Vickers, like Austin Trusty, like Liam Scales? I mean, I know they put Liam Scales on a long-term contract, but we have to get the core of the football team are players that are going to be here for 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, you've got the likes of Colby Donovan coming through. You've got the likes of Dane Murray coming through. I thought he did well, Dane Murray, when he came on last night. But it's going to be interesting. More importantly, can the team get a little bit more clinical and more tighter at the back? Because there's one thing. If you give this team on Wednesday evening 4 chances, they will stick the ball in the back of the net. They're not hitting the post 5 times. And Sinisalo, he was nowhere near any of those shots, were they? They hit the post 5 times. Better teams will score chances, I'm afraid. Yes, they will. But Bauer's head must be so solid. Mika Bauer, he's an interesting player. He's a small lad. Charlie Mulgrew had a little bit of dig at him when he first came on. That little flick, he had the ball that came through from Callum McGregor, and the little flick that basically set up the goal, I thought was phenomenal. He looks like a player that wants to get all over the midfield. I think that he might be an interesting addition. Celtic had goals through Trusty, Camilo Duran, Sebastian Tenekte, and Benji Negrin. What's that? He's on 3 goals now for the season. The scoreline from the outset looks as if it was a comfortable game, but the reality is that it was anywhere but easy, especially when you're up against good teams. When you look at it, teams in the Champions League, we could have got beat 5-4 last night. If that was a Champions League game, you're getting beat 5-4 all day long. That's just my opinion. Martin O'Neill says, I felt up until the third goal that United were never really out of it. They hit the bar on the post 4 or 5 times. That might tell you something, says Martin O'Neill. In some moments we were terrific. In other moments we just felt a bit untidy. We have to straighten that out before Wednesday night, says Martin O'Neill. Says it's a really big task. They are very, very strong. It would be great if some of the lads who have come in now had a bit more practice with the team in that sense. But it is what it is, said Martin O'Neill. We have to be ready regardless. It's a big week for us. We've got the game on Wednesday, and then the second match the following Tuesday. These are big games in every aspect of the Champions League qualification money. It is everything to the club. It's prestige, it's finance, it's all that type of stuff. We're trying to be as ready as we possibly can, says Martin O'Neill. Whilst Martin O'Neill was delighted with Duran to get his first goal with the club, in a domestic competitive sense, he did get a couple of goals during pre-season. He says that he thought he was an exceptionally good player. He was terrific. He admitted that obviously with the firepower that the team has coming on Wednesday night, it could be a little more bit difficult. Anyhow, as they say, Martin O'Neill also gives us a transfer update. And with that shit squad last season, I'm just going to jump in. He didn't start his career yesterday, mate. He's been a pro for 6 years. I don't know who you're talking about. He's talking about yourself. The boys played about half an hour football and folk are moaning about him. I take it there's a lot of people moaning about Hassan. Hassan looks a bit timid, maybe nerves. He's trained with the club twice. He's not had... Jesus, people need to calm down. It's Sunday morning. He's trained with the club twice and he's not had any pre-season to talk about. He's came from the World Cup and then